Joe Rogan is a name that resonates across multiple industries. He's not just a comedian. He's not just a commentator. He's not just a podcast host. He's a force of nature in modern media, a man whose influence stretches from stand-up comedy clubs to UFC arenas to the very heart of digital culture. With an estimated annual income of $60 million, Rogan's journey is nothing short of extraordinary. But who is the man behind the microphone? How did he go from a martial arts-obsessed kid to one of the most powerful voices in entertainment? Buckle up as we take a deep dive into the life, career, and personal philosophy of Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan was born Joseph James Rogan on August 11, 1967, in Newark, New Jersey. He comes from a mixed heritage, one Irish grandparent and 3 of Italian descent. His father, Joseph Rogan, was a police officer, but their relationship was rocky at best. His parents divorced when he was just 5 years old, and by the time he turned 7, he had no further contact with his father. Rogan has spoken candidly about his childhood, recalling brief flashes of domestic violence, though he maintains he doesn't harbor resentment. After moving to San Francisco, California, at the age of 7, Rogan and his family relocated again, this time to Gainesville, Florida, before finally settling in Newton Upper Falls, Massachusetts. It was here that Rogan spent most of his formative years, attending Newton South High School and graduating in 1985. Despite an unstable childhood, Rogan found solace in sports, particularly martial arts. At 14, he started practicing karate. By 15, he discovered Taekwondo, which quickly became his passion. Martial arts weren't just a hobby for Rogan, they were an obsession. He trained relentlessly, ultimately becoming a champion fighter. At 19, he won the U.S. Open Championship as a lightweight in Taekwondo. His success in martial arts wasn't just about competition, it shaped his entire outlook on life. Discipline, resilience, and self-improvement became the foundation of his philosophy. He even went on to teach Taekwondo and kickboxing for several years. However, after suffering multiple injuries, he decided to step away from competitive fighting. But while his days in the ring ended, his love for martial arts never did. While martial arts dominated Rogan's teenage years, comedy was always lurking in the background. A self-proclaimed fan of Richard Pryor, Rogan was drawn to the art of stand-up. It wasn't until he was 21 that he finally took the plunge. Encouraged by friends, he performed his first stand-up routine at an open mic night in Boston on August 27, 1988. His style was raw, energetic, and fearless, traits that would define his career. The road to comedic success was anything but easy. In his early days, Rogan juggled multiple jobs to make ends meet, from teaching martial arts to working in construction. He even performed at strip clubs and bachelor parties just to get stage time. But his hard work paid off. Talent manager Jeff Sussman took notice, and soon Rogan was on his way to bigger opportunities. In the early 1990s, Rogan's comedy career gained momentum, leading him to move to New York City. His big break came when he appeared on MTV's Half-Hour Comedy Hour, a performance that earned him a development deal with the network. By 1995, he landed a role on the NBC sitcom News Radio, playing the eccentric Joe Gorelli. The show became a cult favorite, and Rogan formed a strong bond with his co-stars, particularly the late Phil Hartman. While acting and comedy were paying the bills, Rogan's passion for martial arts never faded. In 1997, he took a job as a backstage interviewer for the UFC, which at the time was still a niche sport. He left the role after a couple of years, but remained a fan. By 2002, UFC President Dana White offered him a gig as a color commentator. Initially, Rogan declined, but after White enticed him with free event tickets, Rogan reconsidered. Once he officially joined as a commentator, his dynamic, no-nonsense analysis and deep knowledge of combat sports helped elevate the UFC's mainstream appeal. Today, Rogan is one of the most respected voices in MMA. Despite being known in comedy and UFC circles, Rogan's mainstream breakthrough came in an unexpected way. As the host of Fear Factor. From 2001 to 2006, he guided contestants through extreme stunts and stomach-churning challenges. The show was wildly successful, bringing Rogan into millions of living rooms across America. While some dismissed Fear Factor as a trashy reality show, Rogan saw it as a valuable opportunity. The exposure cemented his place in pop culture and provided him with financial security. By the late 2000s, Rogan was already a household name. But in 2009, he embarked on a project that would redefine his career: the Joe Rogan Experience. What started as a casual, unscripted podcast quickly became one of the most influential platforms in media. Rogan's laid-back interview style and ability to attract a diverse range of guests, from comedians to scientists to controversial figures, set his podcast apart. By 2020, the Joe Rogan Experience had become a juggernaut, leading to a historic $200 million licensing deal with Spotify. With an estimated net worth exceeding $100 million, Rogan has built an impressive empire. He owns multiple properties, including a $14.4 million mansion in Austin, Texas, and a French country-style estate in Bell Canyon, California. His car collection reflects his love for power and performance, featuring everything from a Tesla Model S to a 1965 Corvette Stingray. Beyond wealth, Rogan lives a disciplined lifestyle. He follows a strict fitness regimen that includes weightlifting, martial arts training, and cold exposure therapy. His diet consists of high-quality meats, emphasizing the benefits of a carnivore-style eating plan. In 2009, Rogan married Jessica Ditzel, a former cocktail waitress. Together, they have 2 daughters, and Rogan is also a stepfather to Jessica's daughter from a previous relationship. The family prefers to stay out of the spotlight, valuing privacy over fame. Rogan is one of the few public figures who defies traditional political labels. He supports LGBTQ+ rights, universal health care, and criminal justice reform, while also advocating for the Second Amendment and free speech. His podcast has become a space for open dialogue, where guests from all sides of the spectrum engage in deep conversations. His willingness to question mainstream narratives has made him both loved and criticized. Joe Rogan's story is one of evolution, from a kid fascinated by martial arts to a struggling stand-up comedian to one of the most powerful media personalities in the world. His journey is a testament to hard work, adaptability, and authenticity. Whether he's analyzing a UFC fight, cracking jokes on stage, or engaging in thought-provoking discussions, Rogan continues to shape modern culture in ways few others have. Love him or hate him, one thing is undeniable: Joe Rogan is far from finished. His impact is only growing, and the world will continue to listen.